Hello, and welcome to the Geek Cause podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Episode number...
13. Sorry, 13.
You did it. I didn't expect you to do it.
Didn't expect me to yeet on them?
No, because you ignored me when I changed the file.
I just don't say anything. I don't want to give you the satisfaction of knowing that I saw you yeet on our Google Doc drive.
That sounds wrong. That sounds very wrong.
It does sound... Is that your wallet that's up there? Look at that.
Yeah,
Free money.
It is my wallet.
How's everyone doing today? You can't talk back to us, so it doesn't matter. But...
We're going to pretend you can.
And great? Oh, yeah, us too.
That sounds really good, yeah. That's great.
Us too.
Fantastic.
What are our topics looking like today? Well, I almost called you Scott. Kyle.
Scott? Are you cheating on me?
I'm cheating on you.
Our topics are looking, may I say it, pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, we got quite a few of them today. Some really interesting stuff, some stuff that you wouldn't expect, and some stuff you would expect. Especially the Minecraft character creator. You hear about that?
Yeah,
we'll get into that later. But man, when I started playing Minecraft, the one thing that I always wished was that I could change what pixel width my eyes were. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be exciting.
It's gonna make or break the game, really.
It really is.
Anyways, Cody, have you done anything interesting, exciting in the past week?
In the past week, no, I do not believe I have. Nothing that really I can think about right now. That's like really sparking anything in my mind. I've been playing more League of Legends for some reason.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I've been trying to get better at the game. I mean, I've only played it since it was in beta, and I've always been bad. So
you don't know how much that's gonna do for you.
So I decided to just actually try to be better, and I'm having fun.
You heard it here first. Cody's gonna go pro.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Confirmed first.
By the time I get even on a level of being good, I think that League of Legends will be no more.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, other than that, it's just been nose to grind studying right now. I got my my exam that I'm taking next week, so that'll be fun.
Next week,
yeah, it'll be exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. But yeah, what about you?
I've been doing nothing as per usual.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of our lives.
Yeah,
we just do research on topics to talk about and
play games, watch things when good things come out. Pretty much it. Spent the weekend watching like short movies on YouTube.
Okay.
Because it's a good pastime. Just try it sometime.
What movies?
Just go on and Google like best short film ever made, and you'll get about 30 videos titled the best short film ever made, and they're all really good.
Are they, or are they just?
They're actually all
saying that.
They're actually all pretty good, surprisingly enough. Some of them are a bit like, but some of them are actually like impressive. It's like, this is a 15-minute movie that's actually kind of cool.
Right. I watched The Commitments for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was pretty good. It's
Great
funny.
movie.
I was telling Becca as we were watching it, because there's just like a lot of scenes where kids were just like looked like they were roaming around a like dilapidated wasteland and just like throwing rocks at windows and shit. And I was like, is this how it was in Ireland back in like
yes,
back in like the 80s?
It was.
and she's just like, I mean, yeah, that's what they did. I was like, it looks like a post-apocalyptic future.
Like Mad Max.
Yeah, it's like nuts. I was just like, shit, it's scary. I was like, this is what kids used to do for fun.
Don't you know the inspiration for Fallout came from Ireland?
Just a horrible ruined world with mutants walking around. Yeah. So it's not far off.
No, it's not even today.
I'm just kidding. All of our Irish listeners, you guys aren't mutants.
See, he has to say he's kidding. I don't.
Yeah, because you're Irish and it's true.
I'm allowed
you
to
know
say
it's
it.
true.
Exactly.
All right. Well, then anything else interesting that we need to inform everyone about? I couldn't help but notice that you didn't get around to making one of those little episodes of why people should hire you.
Well, you see, I knew you were going to ask that, and I have an answer prepared.
Yeah, here it is. You prepared an answer to give me a bullshit excuse. It's funny. It's funny that you have an excuse instead of having
I know.
actual deliverance.
No, it's actually a genuine excuse. But I want it to be like, I don't want to put it to a schedule because then it'll just be me trying to force things out of me.
Right. No schedule, right.
So I just kind of want to do it as, things come up in the world that I want to do it. the only big thing that really happened in the past week was the Emmys. And I was like, we're probably going to talk about it in the podcast. So I'll hold off making my own rant until after we record the podcast. So I don't, double up on things.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah, actually, see, you weren't expecting an actual good excuse, were you?
I mean, good is relative to the user the person that's listening to it.
The user of the good.
So yeah, I mean, that's fine, but you'll have something like that coming out soon. That'll be great.
Yeah, pretty much whatever we don't talk about the Emmys today, I'm probably going to rant about, because I have a lot to say.
There you go. Alright, sounds good. I've still been streaming. We still have a Discord if you want to check that out. There should be a link in the description. We still have, I'm streaming on Mixer and Twitch.
I still don't know how you do it. At
The Geek Cause -Cody and _ Still going Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays, and then sometimes in between if I have time.
On a technical aspect, how does that work? With chat? Do you just have two chats open?
I have to bring up a chat that goes through the streaming service. I use Restreamio, not sponsored, but if they want to sponsor me, then they can go ahead and do that. And it allows me to see both chats. And then because Mixer also has little GIFs and stuff that you can get, I keep up a little Mixer window chat as well, because it'll show up in my little chat window. So if someone sends anything in there, then I can actually see what it is instead of it just being
clever.
Sends a GIF.
Yeah. Speaking of your stream, though, 3 a.m. this morning, I had my volume turned up to make sure my alarm would go off properly.
Mm-hmm.
And my alert sound is the Metal Gear Solid alert sound.
Yeah, okay.
It's really loud.
Yeah, of course it is.
At 3 a.m., this goes off, wakes me up instantly. I roll over, pick up my phone, thinking it was a message or something.
Thinking that people cared.
And it was an email. And it was an email going, stream time, 2 hours, 46 minutes.
Why did you get it at 3 a.m.?
I don't know.
Did you not get, internet, network access?
I honestly don't know. It's at 3 a.m. I got this pop-up notification for your bloody stream.
You gotta turn your phone on silent when you're going to bed, then.
Then my alarm doesn't go off.
Doesn't make sense.
My phone is so janky, my alarm doesn't go off, my phone's on silent.
Then just turn your phone down. Will your alarm be down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It scales with, my volume.
You have problems. You have problems with that.
Yeah, I know.
But anyways, going off from that, and we'll head straight into the topics, because we got quite a few of them today, and we want to not spend too long on any one of them.
And we say that every time. We always do.
We always go. Well, I think we have a decent length podcast.
We do.
We'll keep that going.
We've been doing well lately. Anyways, starting off with
your favorite game,
Borderlands 3. Well, Borderlands. I like Borderlands. I haven't touched Borderlands 3.
Not yet.
I'm scared to touch it.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, because of all the issues that they've been having.
Because of all the bugs. But
before we get into bugs, let's talk about the positives.
It didn't seem like it needed me to buy it, because it has become the best-selling digital game 2K has ever made.
Yeah, it had 5 million units sold within the first 5 days.
And it has been established as $1 billion brand.
Nuts. I mean, listen, Borderlands has obviously become this very huge series and name in everybody's mouth. Everyone knows about it. Everyone's heard about it. But, I mean, within the first 5 days of launch, to sell 50% more to Borderlands 3 than total sales of Borderlands 2 is nuts.
Ridiculous. Especially coming up before the Christmas season, where everyone gets a little bump in sales.
I mean, what can you say about, there's just the only game series that have this type of sort of sell to it, where you have this many people involved in it, are usually the very, very popular franchises, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at Call of Duty,
the big hitters,
the maybe Battlefronts, or Battlefield, sorry.
And then getting a bit niche in that, whenever a new Dragon Age comes out, it usually
sells pretty decent.
It breaks some records for itself in its first week every now and again.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's cool to see that something that I remember when it first came out, the first Borderlands, everyone was like, what the hell is this? They had no idea what was going on with it.
That really cel-shaded
look. Yeah, the cel-shaded look with the looter shooter, everything was really weird. It was
wacky. And...
Yeah, no one expected it to be what it was, but that's what it is. I mean, we can just go through real quick and let's announce some of the things that it's got, which is nuts. So, it got top position on Twitch for most watched game on launch day, and has maintained its position as a top 5 most watched game since launch, which it launched the 14th, right?
Yeah, I believe
The
so.
13th. September the 13th. So you're looking at already generated more than 14 million hours of content viewed on Twitch, which is more than half the viewership that Borderlands 2 generated in its 7-year lifetime. But over $1 billion in revenue,
Which is crazy.
which is absolutely nuts. It made the PC sales of Epic Game Stores increase dramatically. Like, a lot of those sold on Epic, even though everyone said they would never use it, but it's fine, whatever.
It seems like that seemed like not be true.
It's an incredibly successful launch in terms of numbers. But then, and then real quick, and then you look at that and you have ratings from, like, popular news outlets and stuff like that. Forbes, 9 out of 10. IGN, 9 out of 10. Shack News, 9. It looks like it's getting a consistent 9 out of 10. Not a perfect, but
9 out of 10.
But 9 out of 10 is, like, really, really good.
You'll rarely see reviewers give games 10 out of 10s.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
They do that.
It's like teachers will never give you a perfect score.
So, you have all these good things coming out and all these positive remarks about how much it's sold, how good it's doing, blah, blah, blah. And then we come into something that we kind of touched on last week.
Yeah.
But has kind of been more vocal and out there since then. Because it was kind of like
It was just kind of starting, and now it's kind of got to a point. It's been a week. People are kind of going, okay, now come on.
Yeah, so some of the things that people have been experiencing that have been playing the game are, so far we have cloud save issues.
Yeah.
That
people are
seemingly
losing
have
their
been
saves.
fixed, but
Seemingly.
they said they still said that it's a potential that it could happen.
Yeah.
What else are we looking at? We're looking at horrible frame rates on console if you are using the better graphics mode, which is why even have it on there then?
Yeah.
If it's that bad.
Overall just seems to be extremely poorly optimized.
And then all you do is just crank up the motion blur to make it look better.
Yeah.
Like so you can't tell.
So you can't see. It's like in movies when like they do a sweeping camera shot and they put motion blur on it to hide a cut.
To hide the cut, and even like just the stuff in between.
Just to hide like anything that shouldn't be there kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like that's what they were doing. It's like, oh, better graphics mode, but up the motion blur so they can't really tell it's actually not that better.
Then you have a bunch of people talking about how co-op makes the game unplayable.
Yeah.
Because it's horribly laggy. The menu system is trash. It slows down the entire game. You can't get any, like, you can't play it well. And this is a game that was known for its co-op, right?
Oh yeah, that was its big seller, is that this is 4-person co-op, but on consoles you could have split screen, and it's like the old school co-op experience, but on a new game.
And from what I've seen, you don't even have co-op on PC. Like, if you have 2 controllers or anything hooked up on PC, you don't get the co-op
scene on PC.
You don't get the split screen. So it's like, you're hearing these things come out, and you're like, alright, but what does that mean? So you look at Metacritic scores and stuff like that, just as an example, and by critics, you're at about 78%, which isn't a 9 out of 10, but it's not bad either. That means it's
good.
A good game. A good game.
Good game.
And then you look at user reviews, though, and you're sitting at a 5.2.
Yeah.
For user reviews. And you can claim, a lot of those probably got put on there when it was first announced that it was going to be on Epic Game Stores.
That's quite a trend when things get confirmed.
And they got review bombed.
As Epic exclusives, it just gets bombed.
There's probably still people that are, commenting out of spite for that. But I did notice, though, like, you have to remember that, like, back a while ago, I'm pretty sure we talked about on, like, one of the first episodes of the podcast, how Metacritic's was being harder on what they allowed to be posted.
Yeah.
Related to that, like, if it's not, like, relevant. So you have to think that there probably was pruning of those reviews beforehand until the game came out.
Yeah.
And
so you could very much take what's on there now as close as you could get to faithful user reviews.
Yeah. So then you look at the reviews, and all of them are saying the same thing. Performance is terrible on consoles.
It's unplayable.
Co-op is like, me and my son, me and my friend, me and my brother, we're all always been about co-op, and now we literally can't play it because it's that bad. Menu system, it has that slowdown that we've mentioned before. It's not getting the reviews that you would hope to see for a game that's selling 5 million.
Yeah.
You know what I
Which-
mean? In 5 days.
Like 5 million in 5 days is really good, but they'd still need to kind of build it up a bit more to be, truly successful.
I think what you're looking at here is you're not going to have a lot of retention or people that are very happy with the game.
There's going to be no longevity to it. And that if they come out with a Borderlands 4 and don't fix majority of these problems, they won't hit these numbers again because it'll have left a bad taste in people's mouth.
Do you think that people, or what did I want to say? Do you think that Gearbox cares at this point whether their game is bad with all the stuff that's going on and how they've talked about how they're going to fix it and they've barely pushed out any sort of fix and they just keep kind of ignoring the situation? Do you think that they care, or is it something that even matters at this point because they've already raked in $1 billion in sales? You know what I mean?
I think at the start they cared because they pushed out that cloud save patch fairly quick, the hotfix. Like, they pushed that out fairly quick, but
Which is supposed to fix it.
But I think once they started to see their numbers tick up anyways, I think they kind of went, no rush.
Yeah.
They'll probably will fix these things.
We'll fix them in our time.
It'll be over the next month.
We're not stretching ourselves to fix it.
I say it won't be till the end of October by the time we get a totally stable version of the game. Because you can tell when a developer is like, oh, there's bugs, need to fix this. Like, Red Dead Redemption released their big update there 2 weeks ago now, and there was a lot of bugs to it. But in the past 2 weeks, they've released a total of 25 gigabytes worth of patches to fix stuff.
Jesus.
Just constantly doing it while adding new stuff at the same time. So that's kind of a developer who seems to be trying to really fine-tune it. Then you look at Gearbox and just kind of like letting their ship sail its way.
They're waiting for them to have to fix it.
Yeah.
Instead of
wanting to fix it.
Going out there and making sure it gets fixed. And it's really curious to me because more and more games seem to be just like pushing out these things that just games that are unfinished. And I know that I know that more and more is going into games, and it becomes harder and harder to make sure that things are completely finished and getting them out on a decent schedule. Like, if you really think about it, yes, games are so much more involved and have so much more content that it's nigh impossible to make sure that you're getting everything done in a time frame that's going to make sure you hit a release window. And you have to. You can't hold back games for 6 years just to make sure they're done, because then you won't have the money to finish it.
But in that same hand, you look at games like Borderlands 3, that more or less is finished. It just seems to be very badly optimized. 2 months. A month even.
That they could have pushed back to make sure it's optimization.
Like, they released it the 13th of September. They could have went, okay, instead let's push this back to October.
The thing that I don't get, though, is that this has been a game that's been in development for a long time.
Yeah,
at least it's or at least it had the potential to be in development for a long time.
It probably has been. That's the thing. Like,
so why are there still so many issues off so many different in so many different veins that are different? It's not like it was just like one thing is just really badly done.
Oh no, there was like so much in it.
There's just like several things that were like, yeah, they may not be like, well, most of them didn't seem completely game breaking. Like, okay, I can play the game by myself, no problem.
Yeah. And
if I play on a specific mode, then I don't have to worry so much about console performance. But it's like, you're limiting, so
you shouldn't have to do that in a game.
No, they don't add the other stuff then.
Yeah.
Because you're lying about it, about it being there. Saying that there's a multiplayer that's co-op and amazing, and then they're not actually being able to play it efficiently and like well, then what's the point? Then you don't have it because no one's going to want to play it.
No.
It's funny because we're going from this, right? This Borderlands 3, this like selling all this amount, and you thinking like, look at this, games will still sell out no matter what because people think about it and know about it, even though there's all these issues. And then you go into our next topic of a game, Zelda Awakening, which is a remake of the the one for the Game Boy, and it did amazing.
Oh, it did so good.
It's not had many. Obviously it's like a remake, but it was a full down-up remake. Yeah, it wasn't like they took it and put a fresh skin on it.
It's like they completely remade the game.
They remade the game with better graphics, like better stylistics. Well, you could that's obviously a personal choice, but clearly better looking.
Oh,
they added more stuff into the game, like dungeons and stuff that you create.
It's like they kept all the original content and then were like,
and then added
here's more.
And you look at that, and according to Benji Sales, who I'm assuming is like some sort of market director for that sort of area, who knows stuff about it.
Yeah. Sales are in his name.
Yes, he says. Yeah, he says. Zelda Link's Awakening Day 1 is looking to be bigger than Mario Maker 2 Day 1 in sell-through in the US, marking the biggest Nintendo launch of 2019 to date. Incredible seeing a top-down Zelda game perform like this. Breath of the Wild has given a franchise a wide boost. And it's true.
Yeah.
Because of how good Breath of the Wild has done, and because, like, look at, everyone knew about Zelda anyways, right? But because Breath of the Wild was more expansive, it was like more in that Skyrim vein, which brought in RPG enthusiasts.
Open world, you could collect stuff.
You created this like amazing people wanted to play more Zelda games because they liked the story of Zelda, and then you see people play a game that's like, this game is like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Or something nuts, like 15 or something like that years old, and you have a complete remake. And it looks like, you look at this, I just wanted to show the comparison between this and Borderlands. Is you're looking at this, and not only is the critics, the Metacritic score 88 by critics, which is a really good score.
It's a fantastic score.
But user score is still 8.5. And for a game that's just a remake, and it's on a Switch, and it's mobile, and you have all this stuff added to it as well.
Even without all that, it's a top-down Zelda game. Which hasn't really been a thing in a long while now.
No.
And they re-released this, or remake this, and it explodes. And they probably didn't expect it to go this big.
No, and the funny thing is, too, is people do kind of have I'm looking at some of the reviews, and you can look at some, and like, the only bad reviews that you can see is that, there's people that are like, oh, I'm tired of all these remakes. We don't need remakes. We need new games. Okay, I understand your point.
Valid.
But, like, there's more stuff added to this, and it's great. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good game, and you had, it may be a remake, but I'm fine with remakes for older games if they're, like, faithful, right?
Yeah.
And then the most that you can see is, like, then you get a couple, like, medium reviews of people saying, oh, there's a couple loading times compared to the GBA. Yeah, there's going to be. The Game Boy didn't have loading times like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a sort of that sort of system. It didn't have as much added to it. You're looking at, okay, so there's a couple lag spikes that people are talking about. Man, this game could be running on the 3DS. The person still gave him a 7. Because the game itself is great.
Yeah.
And because
they still have issues, but they're like,
the faults aren't
great though.
The faults aren't game breaking. Whereas you look at Borderlands and people are like, I can't play the game.
Yeah.
I had my 13-hour save file deleted. I had this, and you're just thinking like
you're looking at the numbers here for Zelda, and it's like 10, 10, 10, 9, 10, 10, 9, 10.
And you're just thinking,
for Borderlands, it was 0, 0, 1, 0.
It's just like, you wonder why. You know, people say, oh, you have Nintendo fanboys. It's like, because they make sure that despite everything else, 9 times out of 10, anything that's produced by Nintendo is checked for that sort of quality control. If you have a co-op in it, they make sure that the co-op works. Will the game be, like, the most fun ever? Maybe it won't be, but it's always rated decently because it's at least a game that's works functionally.
You can actually sit and play it, unlike Borderlands, where at the moment, apparently you can.
And it can be, Borderlands 3 is probably an amazing game.
Oh, it probably is. Like, but the people I've seen who actually, like, managed to play it somehow seem to really enjoy it.
But, like, when the people that can't play it, like the co-op players, or the people that are playing on consoles and they have terrible frame rates for stuff, or the people that have had their cloud saves, like, you know, deleted, it makes you think, why are we still in the day and age where this is happening for a game that should have these things ironed out and at least be usable? I think my issue is I'm fine with waiting for games, and I'm fine if they don't come out perfect, but I'm tired of waiting a year for the game to be in a state that it could have been in before. If they just worried more. This is the thing. Stop trying to jam-pack your game full of thousands and thousands of mechanics and crazy stuff, and fix the bugs first.
Yeah.
Then you can add content. Because you know what? It's cool if you have millions of hours worth of content. But if I can only play 5 hours of that, then why do I care that there's millions of hours?
Yeah, it's worthless at that point.
Imagine if, like, The Witcher just had, like, bugs in it so frequent, and it did have bugs, but they weren't game-breaking bugs.
And any of the bugs you've seen, they were more graphical.
Visual, like, audio, like, maybe some issues here and there, but, like, imagine if that game, you know, had bugs where you couldn't finish the game, or your save files were getting deleted.
You couldn't open your menus.
You wouldn't have seen anything else about it, because it doesn't matter if it has a millions hours of worth of content, 300 hours worth of content, if you can't play it properly.
Yeah.
So I think this really comes down to it's showing you, just like looking at those two. So I wanted to bring up that Zelda thing just to say, like, doing more than Mario Maker 2, which Mario Maker 2 was gangbusters,
ridiculous.
And it did really well with its sales for a game that's just a Mario, like,
yeah,
like you make Mario levels and play Mario levels.
You make Mario levels. So, like, a Mario Maker.
it's nuts to see that top-down Zelda game can do so well without any of those game-breaking bugs, but Borderlands, which probably had millions of dollars invested into it, like, way more hype built around it.
It's $1 billion franchise now.
Way more hype built around it in of itself, having press releases all the time for it, having all this stuff come out, look at all this stuff that's going on, look at all these, and then you get Nintendo that's just like, yeah, we're making this game, here's some info on it, here's the stuff that we want to put in it, here's a couple of news outlets, things like talking about, like, what's being added, there you go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gearbox are like, oh, it's going to tie into the Telltale Borderlands game, it's going to have even more guns,
we're going to do
it's going to have this, it's going to have this, more of this.
And it's just like, but...
And you can't play any of it, though, because we broke it.
It's just, I don't know, it's dumb. And I think that kind of ties into this part that's also dumb.
Oh.
Also incredibly dumb, because we're talking about video games and their announcements and stuff like that and all this information. And one of those things that a lot of people get a lot of their information from, whether or not it's necessary in today's day and age where you have all these internet resources and you have stuff like Nintendo Direct or people doing something similar to that, where you just go out onto these online platforms and just post the stuff yourself. But you have E3, which is, you know, a good place for a lot of people to check out this new technology, new games.
I personally love E3 week. As just someone who sits at home and watches it all online. I love it. It's such a nice feeling of like, oh, this conference is on an hour, and actually getting, like, you know, excited for it.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
And it's good that you have, like, these, like, live things where people can go in person and check out these things.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, though, is E3 has been lacking a little bit in some, like, in attendance. Like, I think last year they did pretty decent in attendance, but if you look at it really, a lot of it wasn't the attendance of things that you would expect people to be there. And that's because they're working more on getting influencers and media stuff inside of it instead of just games and technology. And because they want that sort of YouTuber, Instagram, like, sort of influencer to come in and talk about stuff. And I'm all fine with that, I guess, to a certain extent, as long as you're not taking away the core of what E3 was, which was about technology. Yeah. It was about...
It's where companies went to show off their new consoles and their new flagship games.
And phones and everything, like, all technology-wise and stuff that was, like, people were interested in. Well, that's all fine and dandy, adding the influencers and the media stuff, but now we've come to find out that the ESA is... That now, I don't know if it's finalized yet what they plan on doing. We only had a leak before, but now they kind of have some plans to rebrand E3 as Fan, Media, and Influencer Festival that capitalizes on influencers' desire for social good. Now,
what is social good?
I'm assuming that they're talking about, like, social topics and, like, trying to get stuff out there of things that are, like, you know, like, certain, like, sensitive social topics. Fine, whatever. If you want to have a festival like that for these sort of things, that's fine. Why are we turning E3 into this?
So they're pretty much turning E3 into VidCon.
Exactly. This is what I don't understand. So in a pitch reportedly written for the organization's members, the ESA says it's responding to attendee feedback with plans to include more influencers and activities, as well as revisions to its usual show floor plan for new on-floor experiences. Fine. You're going to add influencers in more, that's fine. But it says the organization's members, however, did not approve the idea of paying for celebrity attendees, but instead agreed that celebrities should be invited via an organized program. Members were similarly unconvinced by plans to turn the event into a consumer show like the PlayStation. So what it is they're trying to make it that there is an industry only day, which is fine. I'm fine with industry only days where you have people only in the industry that attend.
They're good days.
To cut down queue times and to make sure that you're having people trying to get into other avenues and promote their stuff to the people that matter more.
Yeah.
Consumers are important. They obviously matter the most, but you need to have a day where actual like people in the industry can like look at you and be like, oh, that's a bad idea. We've done that. Or that's a really good idea. How can we work with each other to make something even better for people?
Like people who work in the same field actually go into each other and been like,
I'm fine with all that. My issue though is that with them talking about bringing in these influencers and stuff like that, they're talking about changing rebranding the name of it, or at least making it into something that's more about fan media and influencers. And I think that it should still just remain about technology and about gaming.
Well, it always has been, and why people like it now.
It says, they're trying to this is exactly what it is. They're trying to capitalize on a market of the younger generations are more about, I guess you could say, social good. They're more about being there for social politics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm all for having young people influence with social politics. I get involved in some things, you know what I mean? And I understand the need for it, but not here as much. Does that make sense? Have your own sort of thing. If you want to intermingle them, create your own thing. But to have it, so we have the presentation outline plans to capitalize on the giving back propensity of Millennial and Generation Z influencers. That's good. Great. Give back. In a slide called The Power of Social Good, the organization said it was costly to engage influencers through traditional means, due to the speaker and appearance fees. So instead suggested the ESA could engage influencers with a year-round and multiple-year approach. So to me what it sounds like is, not only do you want to change up E3 to be more about influencers and social media and social good and stuff like that, which if you want to add some in there, like I said, fine. Yeah. But not only are you changing it more to be about that, but now you're talking about how you don't want to pay the people to do this. They should be wanting to do it pretty much out of their own volition.
Yeah.
Because it's
They want to be like, okay, we're going to make this a big thing for influencers and social media people, and we want them all to come here of their own choice. Instead of us having to be like, oh, you should totally come here. Here's some money to make an appearance.
And for them to do that...
Like, I can get the motive behind that, of wanting to stop paying people, because then it would get rid of that kind of fake feeling. Like, when someone comes out on stage...
I get that.
And it's like, oh, they're a big name, and you can clearly see that they're just paid to be there. They have no idea what they're doing.
I get that too, but I think what becomes is like, then you have something, though, a little bit more unauthentic, because now what they're doing is they're changing up the dynamic of it and rebranding it to be something that it's not really going to be, to get those influencers in there. Oh yeah, just so you know, E3 is actually this like influencer festival where you get to give all of your insight, bring out social good, do all this stuff, and then have these people come and be like, oh, that's good for, that's good for me. It's what I like to do, and it's good for the people that I like to try to relate to. And then they go there, and it's like a show that's not related to that at all, and they just don't have to pay them now because they think that they're doing it out of their own.
Yeah.
Good.
But I think it is what's actually making this, thought process go through them, is that you look at the E3 streams. Every year they stream every conference, every company streams their own.
Right.
And then there's the main E3 stream. You look at the viewership at those, they're always really high. But the viewership for, say, the Microsoft stream, when the Microsoft conference is going on, would be a lot lower than, say, this streamer or YouTube personality who's watching the conference. They'd rather watch the conference with
to get their takes,
their favorite YouTuber or streamer.
Because people can't form their own opinions. They have to see what everyone else's opinions are and agree with them.
And I think the E3 people are looking at that and going, oh, they'd rather look at them than the actual conference.
So what if we bring these people in, but we don't pay them because we don't want to spend the money, but will also be better for them because then they don't have to seem unauthentic. And then hopefully they like what we're doing.
And they're hoping it'll just have this snowball effect where they'll just like to be there.
The issue with that, though, is that you're not going to have people that are going to really want to take their time out of their day to do that if they're not getting paid for it. Because on stream, at least when they're watching those stuff, they get paid.
Yeah, they get donations and subscriptions.
And then if you bring people in, you're going to have companies that are going to be like, listen, we're about to have this thing. Let me give you some underhand cash right here. So that way when you see it, act really surprised about it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be more underhanded to me because you're still going to have that transfer of funds because people are going to... The last thing that you want is to have these influencers come to the show that get millions of views and then have them come and then them be like, oh, that looks stupid.
Yeah. Whereas I don't think they realize that, on their streams that get more viewership than their actual conferences, 90% of the time they're making fun of it.
Yeah.
It's like the YouTube channel Funhouse. They always watch all the conferences and they always get blind drunk while watching them. They call it Drunk E3. And 90% of the time it's them either going, oh, that's cool, or just taking the piss out of things.
Yeah. So, I don't know. All in all, I think it's a I get it. I understand wanting influencers more involved, but they really need to think about what they're doing because if they go too far in the wrong direction, you're going to have a negative fallout.
They'll lose what made E3 so special.
Yeah. You're going to have a fallout of what made things special, just like Fallout 76's T-51 power armor helmets were recalled.
That was a good segue.
I tried.
I was going to try to give you a Todd Howard segue, but that was so much better.
I was trying to go into it. So if you haven't heard, there were T-51 power armor helmets that were sent out with collector's editions of Fallout 76.
Now, for all you normies, the T-51 power armor helmet is the big metal helmet that's on the cover of the game. The things
that everyone's most recognizable from Fallout.
Yeah.
Now, with those, there were like a third-party distributor that obviously got some licensing fees that they paid for those from Bethesda to get the rights to make their own helmets.
Yeah, it's like when companies do their own little specific pre-order bonuses. It's kind of like...
They have their own...
The company themselves isn't doing it. The retailer's more so going to the company and been like, hey, can we get our own bonus? And they're going, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so the helmets that were sent out with the collector's edition, were obviously created, stored, and done everything close to Bethesda.
They were handcrafted by Todd Howard himself.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what they were. Whereas there were this third party that, and I can't find their name right now. I saw it earlier, but they're made by a third party that was a Nuka-Cola version of the T-51 power armor,
and it was available from GameStop, I believe.
Yes, you could purchase it from GameStop. Now, on that helmet specifically. Not the collector's edition one that you could buy with the game, but the one for the third party. Inside of the helmet, there was a little breather strip sort of thing where like the gas mask is. There's like a little cloth thing there, like Velcro, some sort of like clothy material, and like for like a sort of lining. Now in that there was some issues for several of those masks, the Nuka-Cola helmets that you could actually wear, where there was mold found in them.
And like the most ideal spot as well.
The breathing apparatus. So as you're breathing in, you're breathing in mold. And what ended up happening is a recall was issued for said mask because there was at least enough amount of those that popped up. And they started to realize that there's a connection related to that.
They recalled over 20,000 of them, I believe.
Now, a lot of people are giving flack at Bethesda for this. Even though Bethesda really has only so much control over that, right?
Yeah, this isn't a Bethesda thing.
Well, we find out even more so that it's not a Bethesda thing because Bethesda actually comes out and says, listen, we only gave them like licensing fees to do this, and we made a certain profit off that. We had nothing to do with the sale, distribution, manufacturing of those. What ended up happening is, and this is them talking, was the company stored them incorrectly, which I'm assuming means they stored them in very wet environments, or they got wet, or they were very damp and warm and humid, and it created the mold in there because of how they were stored and manufactured.
Yeah.
So they were like, this is completely on the company that
manufactured them.
That got the manufactured and that distributed them. That got these licenses from us. This is not. We had no control over any of it. this just has our name and is obviously, Fallout. But you have a lot of people that it doesn't matter because of everything else that goes on with Fallout 76. To them, this is just another controversy.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's important to remember when it comes to these things that even in general, if it would have been the power armor helmet that had the issue, that you have to kind of do your due diligence first to figure out at what stage this sort of thing comes from.
Yeah, like, was it a flaw in the initial manufacturing of the product? Was it an issue with the retailer storing them wrong? Or was it something directly in when it was in Bethesda's hands?
Bethesda. And now, because this actually never touched the Nuka-Cola, I want to get the fake news, kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
These weren't the collector's editions. These were separate helmets that you could buy yourself.
They were a special edition of the game that you could buy exclusively from GameStop.
Yes, it was something that was a completely different retailer and developer. Bethesda did not put their hands anywhere near this.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that either got it from a manufacturer that didn't manufacture or store it properly, and then themselves didn't store it and send it out properly. So, just to get that news out of there. Now, I think that this is a good thing where we do our due diligence and just stop trying to look for worse things to shit on a company that obviously has had some of its issues. Like, I mean, I get it. It's funny now. They're a punching bag.
Bethesda has their flaws, and it's low-hanging fruit at this point.
And Fallout 76 has had many, many flaws.
Oh, yes.
I played the game over 100 hours, and, I haven't played it in a long time now. I feel like I've gotten my fill, and there's a lot of bugs that still exist. That's fine. I get it. But to call attention issues without actually doing the research from it, like you had a bunch of news articles actually going out and saying, oh yeah, no, it was the collector's edition, so it's all Bethesda's fault. But then when you look on the Recall website itself, because they had to put a description and show a picture.
Yeah, they have to
clear
put an official thing.
Nuka-Cola mask that has nothing to do with.
Yeah.
So I think that just doing your due diligence here. But in terms of what it is, what do you think about this, Kyle?
I think
in general.
In general, I think either the manufacturer or retailer that stores these helmets kind of has to step up and take responsibility themselves.
Do you think that this is kind of just really a poor situation for Bethesda? They got themselves in this sort of situation where, I think, after all the other controversies,
I feel bad for Bethesda for this, because this is clearly something that it's not their fault whatsoever on this. Yeah, maybe some people go, well, maybe Bethesda should have done their own personal quality checks on things. It is their licensing, they should have someone
but
at least oversee it.
Imagine though, if you, in saying that, imagine if Sony that like had people buy rights to make toys for them, sent someone to all of these toy distributors and looked at each individual's ones and got like a list of what was made with it. Or imagine if imagine if you will, anybody that got licenses from anybody went through and...
I know, like, it's completely unrealistic, but I know there's probably people out there that think that they should have done that.
And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have maybe checked it out more, but how can you...
Yeah, valid point, but unrealistic.
Especially because you're looking at it from the standpoint of, this could have literally happened at a shipping stage.
Yeah.
Where
it could have been on a cargo ship coming from somewhere, and that was it.
And they had no way, like, what could they say to these people to make sure that that things didn't happen in shipping or transit or storage?
Because you can't make things mold proof. It's like you can try like prevent it as much as you can, but if things are damp and wet and then gets really humid, mold is going to form anyways.
And obviously Bethesda was like, make sure you keep these in. I doubt that they didn't make sure these are kept in like decent situation if you're selling these out, because the helmets that they are. And it's not like the people are just like, you know what?
And as a retailer, I don't see them being that dumb either, because it's something they're selling.
Yeah.
If someone takes a thing out of the box and it's in crap condition, they're going to go and return it to the store, and they lose money.
They're the ones that eat the cost as well.
Yeah.
So
what I can see this like starting is companies that license out stuff. So say if Bethesda get more heat for this in future things, when they have like special editions or give companies, certain licensing to make their own stuff, there'll be an extra contract in there that says you are completely responsible from the A to B of this.
Yeah.
From the manufacturing to the sale and anything that comes after. is on you.
As far as I know, when it comes to costs and stuff like that, and like when people are licensing stuff out, that is already a contract that exists.
Is it?
Based on what I know, like just the stuff that I know, Bethesda right now, they're not losing anything from this.
So like no one could wake up in the morning and like, oh, I have like asthma and that was a danger to my health, I'm going to sue you, Bethesda.
No, they can't, because this was licensed from someone that wasn't created from Bethesda.
So that contract is already a thing.
That's already a thing. The issue is though is Bethesda has to eat all the negative controversy because they're the names that people are going to be thinking of. It's something related to Fallout. It has to be Bethesda's fault.
True.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas these companies, like if you were to try to sue Bethesda for this, they would be like, well, we had no hand in the manufacturing, in the distribution, the sale, or the storage. Anything. The only thing that has is a license, because people can literally be like, hey, can I buy this license to sell something? And then Bethesda goes, let me see what you're trying to do. And then they'll send them a picture, or they'll send them like specifications saying, here it is, here's this thing.
Yeah.
Now, if Bethesda let it through with a manufacturer default, like a defect, I mean, then yeah, they could be held liable for some things because they're like, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But because it's mold, it's like there's no manufacturing.
This was strictly a storage problem.
No. I think companies will start to get creative with these type of things.
I think what it is they're trying to save their face.
Yeah, to cover their asses from this negative press that they're going to get.
But there's not much that you can do when the properties... It'd be like Minecraft saying, oh, we're, Microsoft being like, okay, we license out these toys because people want us to have a certain percentage, but they want to make these cool toys. They look at the toys, they check them out, they say, oh, that's going to be cool. And then the toys end up...
Open it and there's arsenic inside.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden something happened in like the boxing up stage, and arsenic's inside of all the toys for these Minecraft toys. That's not, you know what I mean? Like that can't be Microsoft's fault if they didn't deal with the production of it, because these things clearly state on them who handled them, who produced them, and stuff like that. Bethesda wouldn't have on those masks that were sold something that said manufactured and sold by Bethesda.
Yeah,
it would be this party sold. Maybe like those magazines that you get, where you get like the guides to play through a game.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it's made by the the person that. But then other times
it's not.
They just buy a license to use the name of the property, and it's made by like a third party, and sometimes half that stuff in there is wrong.
Yeah. Because
they just play through the game.
They're just going off of what they know
from a little developer build that they got, and things changed. Like there's a couple of games that have had. Oh, this is what's in this game, blah, 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 blah. But things got changed before they last played it, when they released that.
Yeah.
So you bought a $20 guide to have half of it not be right.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
But yeah, Minecraft toys. Minecraft in the news again. It's been in the news again lately because of...
a new update that's coming, Cody.
Well, it's also just been super popular, which has elicited a new update.
Of course it has. And it's like, ooh, what are they going to add this time?
We're going to see like new dragons that you can fly. It's like
new animals, maybe a new boss, maybe like a bunch of new like weapons. Or
we're going to have RPG stats now where we can add in...
Like you can like increase like your strength or your agility or something.
What is it, Kyle?
No, it's a character rater, Cody. You can now customize your character.
Wait, you mean that we're not stuck with default Steve?
You're no longer stuck with default Steve. What's the girl's name? They added a girl's skin, but I don't know her name.
Stevia.
Stevette. But yeah,
I just want to point. I got a question for you, Kyle. So we can alter our character and how they look. Don't skins exist for Minecraft?
That's what I was thinking in my head. It's like, you just get a skin. But I think this is their way of trying to do away with skins. But I don't get that because you can spend money on.
They said that you can still can do skins and stuff like that. To me, it sounds like
if I can customize my skin, that'd be cool.
I mean, maybe for the skin, something that doesn't affect the face entirely.
Well, it's not even just the face, Cody. This is full body customization from what I've read.
People said they want a choice, and they said, "All right, here you go."
Yeah, it's like you can change like your skin, your proportions from your face to your body. But you can make your character shorter, taller, wider, skinnier.
But the thing is like
green.
This is what I don't understand is. So yes, you could use the skin if you wanted to do that, but also I I don't get it. It's for free. It's giving people the customability option, and that's cool. And you also have a range of custom accessories that you have to pay for. But you can also import your own custom skins.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so for casuals, this is what this is for, right? And it's like you can create your character, and you can edit them how you want.
Yeah, like facial features, hairstyles, over 100 customizational items.
Well, why? But to me, it's like, first of all, who cares? Because you don't see your character really that much.
Gives a crap?
So I don't even really care about skins. It's other people that see. But I get it, fine. But then if you edit your character and you just put on a skin afterwards, then what did you do that for?
Yeah.
And then also, I don't see. It's cool to have options.
Yeah,
it's cool to have options.
Are always nice.
But I think we need to take a step back and be like, but is that an option that really matters?
And what version of the game is it coming to? Because there's two versions of Minecraft. There's the Java version, which is pretty much the old school version, the proper Mojang version. And then there's the quote unquote new Mojang version, which is the Microsoft owned one.
I think it's probably going to be the most obviously the one that's owned by Microsoft, because that one seems like it gets more consistently updated because it's
still been
the one.
Yeah, the Java version has slowed down in updates substantially since the changeover. So that's what I was just curious about. It's like, is it going to be?
I don't know that
because the Java one has stuff that the Microsoft one doesn't have.
Like what?
A left-handed item slot. So like on your hotbar, you have like your 9 slots, and then there's an extra one to the left where you can put an item in your left hand. So
like a shield?
So you can carry 2 items at once.
But they have shields and
you can only equip a shield.
Ah.
Whereas in the Java version, you can like put your sword there or a torch, and then when you hold it in your hand, it illuminates the area directly around you. Like they have a bunch of stuff that the Microsoft version doesn't actually have.
Odd.
It's just really weird. You'd think Microsoft would just add all that stuff.
I don't understand I don't understand like why it's different. I thought that they were all owned by Microsoft now.
They are. That's the thing. Because Microsoft bought Mojang.
So whatever. Long story short,
so weird.
Cool that we're getting some options, but it's a dumb little update that I don't think really matters that much. And we only brought it up because we thought it was kind of dumb. So we're like, let's talk about how the fact that you can make a pixel on your guy's face a slightly larger or a different color pixel.
It'd be cool if it was like you click on it and it just like brought up like this just 2D map of your face, and you had to click each individual pixel to like change the color and shape of it.
It'd be cool if like,
and you had to spend like 100 hours going through clicking each individual one. It'd
be cool if you just could make yourself inside of Minecraft. Like you just took a picture of your face
yourself?
And you're just in Minecraft.
That'd be. Oh, like the old like NBA games and stuff like that.
The ones where like it mold over their face, and it's like,
or it's just a 2D picture just spread across
like,
a 3D
got like
model.
a little face like going like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
And their mouth would move, but your mouth wouldn't.
But yeah, just like sit still. Or they put like a cut down like in the middle of it, and so you'd be like, "Bop bop bop bop," you know, like the Canadians from
like
South
Hannibal
Park.
Lecter wearing your face.
Yes. Those were good, and they're like, your little smile.
God, some of nightmares.
What else have we got in the news today?
Speaking of nightmares, Fortnite.
Your favorite game?
Oh yeah, love Fortnite. I'm a Fortnite pro. Me and Ninja are best friends.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I heard about that. You see, sometimes you go on his stream and talk about.
We like to awkwardly Fortnite dance in Times Square at New Year's Eve together.
Yeah, and no one joined you, and you're very uncomfortable.
But yeah, Fortnite back in the news.
Why is it?
Getting a new update, Cody. And it's adding some...
I heard it's actually a pretty good update.
It's some exciting things. It's finally adding a competitive mode.
Which is good. Is it adding a competitive mode, or is it making matchmaking a competitive?
I think it's adding a specific mode, is it not? Where you get paired with people of same skill level of you as you.
I am doing some reading here, and all it's saying to me is that... it's just a new matchmaking system. So, to me, that doesn't mean that it's going to be a competitive mode. It sounds like it's going to be. They're gonna make matchmaking look at. They're not. The update isn't out yet. They're still in the works of it. So this could change by time that we're talking about it, and it actually comes out. This is
probably stuff that'll be coming out in. Yeah, it'll be coming out in season 11.
But basically, what's going on is So the way that it works is matchmaking. And it says that the 10.40 update will bring changes to the game's core modes that Epic said will create fair games for everyone by matching up players with similar. So it's the game's core mode. So it sounds like it's going to be it sounds like it's going to be the same mode, but that, like I said, that can always change.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't said how it actually works, but all it says is you will be more likely to match with people of similar skill, and as you get better, so should your opponents. We will slowly roll this out to all regions across Battle Royale core modes as we test and monitor how it performs. So what it sounds like to me is they're gonna have like kind of like League of Legends was for normals. I don't even know if they still do that now. And Overwatch, where there was like an invisible MMR rating, which is like your matchmaking rank or whatever. Yeah. And the more you win, the higher that goes up. And then they take that and they match you up with people with similar MMR. So it's and like the more you lose, the lower it goes down.
So say like you're playing Fortnite and you average like, I tend to die around the, 15 to 10 players left mark. Mm-hmm. I'll be paired with other players who also die around the 10 to 15 players left mark.
So in a normal match, how many players start the match? Normal Battle Royale, is it 100?
It's 100.
Yeah, so you start with 100, and I would say this is what happens. You get, if you get 100th place, like if you die first, you probably get like negative 10 points onto your MMR. And then I would say every 10 after that, you get like, or like every 5. So like if you make it somewhere between, like if you make it between 95 and 91, you get -9. And then you go down in increments of 5. So then at 50, you would be 0. If you make it to halfway mark, your MMR stays the same, and you match with other people that are at 0 MMRs. Like, cause everyone probably starts at 0.
Yeah.
So, losing at 100 would make you go down -10. So now you're at -10 MMR. So you would match with people that have -10 rating or something like that.
Yeah. Unless
0 is the worst that you can be, and that would just bring you to stay at 0. And then if you get every 5 after that, if you get up to like, if you get between 10th and 9th, or, 10th and 6th, somewhere in there, and where you die, you'd get, +9. And if you die between 5 and 1, or 5 and 2 even, you probably get, like, +10, and then if you win first place, you get, like, an extra boost for getting, like, first place, and maybe get, like, 15 points.
Yeah. It's something that would be more complicated when you think about it. Like, when you say it that way, it's probably how it's gonna work. But it'd have to be so fine-tuned so it's not a case that, like, you're a bad player and you're paired with other bad players and then you do a bit better and you win, like, 2 matches and then suddenly you're paired with people who are outskilled you even though you just kind of,
I would say
got lucky in your first 2 rounds.
I would say, like, how all matchmaking systems work, in the very beginning days, it will be bad. Because the system has to pick up where it
has to grow.
Where you're sitting at. And it should have like a learning system, like, okay, in the last 10 games, this person has, came close to winning, 4 times and then has completely bombed 6. So if we were to average that out, they're not doing that good because they haven't won. Yeah. And they've completely bombed the other ones. So that means that they're not that good of a player.
Yeah. That makes sense. So if like, this guy won, 5 games and lost 3. He wins them more often than not, but those 3 games that he lost, he was in the 100 to 90 range, so he's not that good.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's gonna be harder in general, because, and this is the issue that you have, it's gonna be harder in general, because it's a battle royale, so how do you determine what's good or not?
Yeah.
Maybe to you, being the 50th person, like, killed, is actually pretty good for you, and you're like, oh my god, I made it past the first 100, but to everyone else, that could be like, oh, that's shit, you didn't even make it in the top 3.
Yeah.
And and plus, Battle Royale is also so random. You may not get anything good. You could do amazing.
Yeah, you might get a bad drop, and someone else just happens to drop beside you and get to that gun first and kill you. Like, it happens.
It's like, it's not like, you know what I mean? In Overwatch, yes, sometimes with how people choose characters, it can be a little random, but like in Overwatch ranked, it's based on skill.
Yeah.
If 2 people have the same person, they're going to be, like, it's whoever's better wins. Yeah. It's not whether they get random items. In League of Legends, it's not about
a weapon.
Yeah, in League of Legends, you have champions that you can ban, and maybe someone gets a champion that is overall strong against yours because it has like better skills that like kind of make yours not work as well.
Yeah.
But overall, it's based on skill, how well you can compete and all that, and that's something that you had a potential to try and ban out, and so you have to choose those things. It's not like, oh, if I buy this item, they have no access to it anymore, so now they're fucked. It's like, no, everyone has access to that still.
Yeah.
And everyone has access to everything, you just have to not die to them.
Yeah,
and try your hardest to be better.
Yeah.
So it's skill-based, whereas Battle Royale is...
It's partial skill, but a lot of it's luck as well.
The gameplay mechanics are skill. Everything else is random.
Oh, yeah. Your actual, like, you're running around and shooting, that's all skill.
You could be an amazing person with a pistol, if that's all you found, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of it, if all you had was that pistol, and someone had, like, an AK-47 or whatever they have inside of the game,
that was just stronger.
You're going to lose.
Yeah.
More than likely, you're going to lose.
Yeah, there's a chance you could still win,
but like that's still, I mean, like
small.
A small chance to win is like, you know, based on that is completely
everyone
different.
has a small chance to win.
Exactly.
In a game where everyone starts with no weapon,
if you put a monkey, if you put a monkey in a room and have him play Fortnite for 1,000,000 matches, one of those games he would win.
Yeah,
that's just it doesn't. It's something that's completely. Whereas if you put a monkey in a room with League of Legends, and it was just him 1v1ing someone that had skill, and it was just a monkey, he would never be able to do it because it's skill-based. It's not random RNG.
Yeah. That's why I thought it would be a competitive mode, because I think that would work a lot better, where you'd have your normal modes, and then you'd have your ranked mode where you play 6 matches, and at the end of your 6th match, you're given a rank, depending on where you placed.
And like then you would...
Platinum, gold, silver, bronze.
Well, see, but then even then still... If people played really good those 6 games, but they're actually terrible, and they just happen to win 6 games in a row, you still have the same issues as everyone else, because you just happen to get 6, let's just say you just happen to get 6 games in a row, get amazing loot.
Yeah, but at least it would make it so it's sectioned off to that part of the game rather than the main core of itself.
Yeah.
Because that could just damage the main core of it if it doesn't work that well.
I think it's good to add in something in any game to make it people of more comparable skill are playing together, but I just think Battle Royale is... Stop trying to make Battle Royale a competitive game, because it's not to me. Yeah. It's not something... You can't have 100 competitors unless they're all
equal,
amazing in skill, and they all have the ability to get the same thing.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Because it's random.
You could get 40 loot chests and them not be the same. That's why I don't understand the competitive modes for like Fortnite and stuff like that. It doesn't like having these competitions, because
it's purely luck.
It's not like Smash.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'll choose this person, and it's simply like who's better at playing the game.
Yeah.
And like, okay, your guy is better at dodging than my guy is, but my guy has this over yours.
Yeah.
It's not what it's about.
Basic, like, you know,
it's literally
based stuff.
It's RNG in Battle Royale, and I don't understand how you can... I mean, yeah, you have someone like Ninja who will probably win, does nothing but play the game, who will probably win a lot of his games, right? But, or at least come up top. But I just think it's so far-fetched to imagine that you're going to be able to make it something more competitive than it is. But
I think something like this is probably something they should beta test. They shouldn't just next update throw it out. I think they should be like, okay, this is in beta.
I think that's what they said. I think they're gonna. Well, I think
we're gonna test.
They're gonna put out it, and they're gonna keep a close eye on it for like a week or two, like their normal time frame before they do like a small update. And if they notice that it seems to be kind of working where it's going, then they're gonna keep it. And if not, then they're gonna tweak it. It makes sense to have something in there for competitive reasons. I don't understand the competitive aspect.
I just don't get Fortnite in general.
Well, going from Fortnite and going to
it's like, speaking of keeping things in beta,
we have Infinity Ward sharing feedback from their Modern Warfare beta.
Yeah, this weekend they had an open beta to test their crossplay servers, I believe, and they just did a big release of every single bug and issue they found and was reported, which is pretty cool.
They had a big list, but like nothing that was
game breaking.
Well, there was stuff that could be game breaking, but they immediately said this is what it is, and these are priorities fixing before we put out the game.
It's like there's some things like your Juggernaut armor not appearing when you open the chest, which is, it's a kill streak. And then other than that, it seems to be a lot of things, just graphical glitches, UI glitches, sound glitches.
All stuff that you'd expect to see in a beta that's just like, seriously,
Yeah,
they want to test the crossplay mechanic.
Yeah, like the game isn't out till next month, and this is all like the small refinement stuff.
So I'm curious, for crossplay, is this between all console versions, or all versions? So PS4, Xbox, and PC?
I'm not sure if it's between Xbox and PlayStation, but I know for a fact it's between Xbox, PC, and PlayStation and PC. Because Xbox and PlayStation are so janky with their crossplay stuff. Well, PlayStation is. As far as I could tell, it was just I only matched with Xbox people and PC people.
Okay.
Can
you tell if does it show?
Yeah. When you go into the lobby, you have their gamer tag, and then beside it there's a little symbol. There'll be, say, if they're playing with a controller, there'll be a little controller.
So then
there'll be a little PC or an Xbox logo. Is
it possible to not matchmake with crossplay people? Did they not have it in the beta?
They didn't have it in the beta because obviously the whole point of it was to test their crossplay. But I'm pretty sure they said there will be a way to only pair with people on your console.
The only reason I say that is because if they don't, console people will be at a severe advantage to good PC keyboard users, because keyboard and mouse
that's the thing. In your options, you can choose to pair with people who use controller and keyboard and mouse, but there's also an option to only pair with people who are using controller.
There you go. That's what I was curious about.
So when I was playing, I only paired with people who had controller, but it was across Xbox and PC.
Yeah, because there's issues with people, like, you know, playing only in like competitive environments like that, because a PC, a mouse and a keyboard are always going to be more efficient than a controller. Like, always, no matter what anybody says, always will be more efficient.
Like on the quick draw, PC will win every time.
And that's not me trying to say because I play PC, so that's just what it is. I wish that I was better with a controller because controller feels comfortable.
It's like if you had a cross-platform racing game. Someone with a controller would have more of an advantage than someone on PC because they'd have that fine-tunement of the analog stick.
The only issue I see with this is having that thing of like, oh, well, you match up only with controller. I feel like it'd probably be pretty easy to spoof controller, like to make it seem like you're having a controller, so people could probably still shit on you. Because on a PC, you'd probably just be like, I have a controller plugged in, put it in the configuration settings, but then just use your keyboard and mouse.
See, I don't know how it works on PC because I didn't play it on PC. But in my head, I think there'd be something in the game code that would lock your keyboard.
There should be something that locks it if that's the case, because I
think
it'd be really easy
if you interact with your keyboard, it'll flag something on their system that kind of go, oh, this person is
keyboard and mouse. Yeah, switch it.
Because surely they'll be able to recognize.
Hopefully,
if they can recognize that you're using a controller, they should be able to recognize if your keyboard has been used.
That's what I mean. It could be easy to spoof things. So if they don't put something in there to prevent it, then you gotta watch out for that. But other than that, super cool. Overall, though, I've only heard good things about the beta.
I've played...
like there's been issues bugging, like certain bugginess to any beta game, but
it had its glitches, but it wasn't any case that when I was playing it that I was playing a match and then there was a glitch and I was like, oh, I died unfairly or anything like that. It was fairly solid when it came to the core gameplay of it. It was responsive, fun. Apart from the few graphic glitches, absolutely gorgeous game for a Call of Duty. It kind of has that kind of like heaviness, like more realistic heaviness, but it's still really quick and arcadey.
Yeah,
like the old Call of Duties.
And I kind of miss that like mix that you have of like sort of like realness, but then arcadeness to it.
Something I said after playing it for about 2 hours, I was like, I feel like I was playing Modern Warfare 3. That the feelings that I got back in the day playing Modern Warfare 3 with my mates, you know, just chilling. It gave me that kind of warm, fuzzy feeling when I was playing, which I haven't gotten since probably Modern Warfare 3.
I mean, I know a lot of people love Modern Warfare 3, but I never played it that much, so I'm not, I'm like, whatever, like,
yeah.
But I remember Modern Warfare 2 being like the shit to me and stuff, so it's nice to see that it did really well. A couple of things though that I did want to mention that I ended up seeing before we actually started talking about this was there is some negative aspects that people are having, and it's kind of a big deal to a lot of people, and that is the Special Ops Survival Mode is going to be locked to PS4 versions for a whole year.
For a year?
For a whole year. it's only going to be on. It's reported that it's only going to be on the special ops survival. It's only going to be on PS4 for a whole year. It's being exclusive locked.
Really don't see them doing like PC exclusives. Do happen on games that are multiple consoles. Like Red Dead gets extra content 30 days early. So like the last Red Dead update, the PlayStation people got an extra type of dog to put in their camp.
Right.
And they'll have that for a month before everyone else gets it.
And it's like, okay, cool.
Like, that's fair enough, but a year for one of the main parts that a lot of people are excited for?
Yeah, so I mean, like, to be fair, and I saw someone even said this, and I bet this is probably going to be most people, but they said, for a game mode that I'd only played 10% of, like, it's not that I'm irritated about. They're like, I would probably only play about 10% of the time, and I was thinking only about 10% of the players would probably prioritize that game mode anyways.
Oh, yeah.
But they said for a game that I probably only play 10% of the time, that part of the what bothers me is the fact that I'm paying full price game for something that has 10% of the content locked for me for a whole year for no reason other than the fact of what I'm playing on. So they're like, now I'm not going to buy it.
And if they're locking that for a year, what else is going to be exclusive locked? Is it just going to be the game mode? There'll probably be weapon attachments or even weapons themselves that will be locked. Maybe character skins because you can change what your character looks like.
So far, all it's been is the Spec Ops survival mode, which, like I said, yes, it's only one mode, and people are saying, yeah, it's only one mode. It's not that, but it's the fact that you're paying. This is what's wrong with exclusives in this vein of certain people getting gameplay mechanics that are exclusive to only one console or platform is a whole year. Even if it was 30 days, I'd still think it was pretty egregious.
Like 30 days, I'd complain, but I'd go
to not get a game mode for 30 days. It's like, why though? You know what I mean? Fine, but why?
It's like by the time I play through the campaign, play some multiplayer, some of the other co-op stuff, it would be a month anyway, so I'd hardly notice at the time.
Yeah, but like a
year.
That is not having access to it until the new Call of Duty comes out.
Yeah.
And at that point, you might as well just buy the new Call of Duty.
And it's literally, you're not getting the new content until the next generation of console comes out.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of people that are complaining about that right now because it's nuts.
That's ridiculous.
If they don't, like, everyone's saying, put up some petitions, like, speak your voice, don't pre-order the game, because this is what I'm going to say about it. Game looks great. I would love to play it. The Spec Ops survival mode, not that really that big of a deal to me at all. But if you're telling me though that for a whole year I won't be able to get access content that other people who own the same game do get access to, then fuck you.
Like, if I have to boot up my game and every time I go into Special Ops to do a co-op mission, I see the survival mode will grayed out with a lock beside it. It's just like, no, that's...
What's the point?
Like, at that point, why would I bother? Why would I come back in a year to play that?
No, you wouldn't.
Because I wouldn't.
The game would be done in a year. And they know that's why they did it on purpose, because they know that people won't care in a year.
Exactly. But maybe
and so it made PlayStation feel like they really got a good deal.
Yeah.
Oh, exclusive. We pay money and it's exclusive for us. We get a whole new game mode, and by the time other people get it, they won't even care about the game.
Yeah, Sony are doubling down on their exclusives, and it's...
Sony has been a real piece of shit lately.
Oh, yeah. Like, they bought...
Honest. And I love Sony.
Oh, Sony. I do like Sony. Like...
But they're being real shitty with their exclusivity stuff and their lack of wanting to do crossplay. They've been real shitty lately, and something needs to change there because this is ridiculous. A whole year. I'll tell you what, you're gonna lose a lot of potential buyers. Yeah. Now, obviously, the game's still gonna do well, but you're gonna lose a lot of potential buyers because you refuse to give them what they deserve.
Yeah, like I was considering buying Modern Warfare on release because, I like Call of Duty games. I do enjoy them. And I'm quite looking forward to this one. But if this is going to be locked for a year, I'm probably going to hold off and get it when it's cheaper. Yeah, start next year in the sales.
Because why
would I bother?
Why get it on release if you can't even get the full game?
Exactly. I'd rather wait, get it later, and maybe get it closer to the time of when I can actually play this game mode.
Yeah, exactly.
It's silly, but oh well. These things happen.
These things do happen.
But on more exciting news.
A more positive note.
Yeah. We have got some more information possibly leading to Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC.
Now, I can't remember. Did we talk about this last week? I think we might have touched
Briefly.
on it. Might have touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, we touched on that they applied for a rating in Australia and got denied.
Yeah.
But we now have got news that said rating has now been approved in Australia. And we can now confirm that it was for a title for Red Dead Redemption 2. There was no other information attached to it. The info block on it was empty apparently. And it was just titled Red Dead Redemption 2 and it got a MA 15 plus age restriction, which I think was the same as, it was the same as it got back when it released last year. So same rating, same game, but happening again. People are kind of like, has to be PC.
Well, I mean, there's not much else it could be, right? Based on the information, like they've data mined stuff. They have PC settings and references that I remember were being spotted back in the day, and people were like, "Is it coming out on PC as well?" And then when it wasn't announced for it, people were like, "Oh, well, why was there talk like that?"
Yeah, and with this as well as them releasing their launcher on PC.
Yeah, and then a leak of a source code that on PC said that there's Red Dead Redemption 2 accomplishments.
Yeah, it seems like everything's pointing to Red Dead finally coming to PC.
I mean, I don't see why not. I probably won't buy it.
A lot of people are excited for the modding community. Cannot wait for it. Apparently,
but yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though. Is like it's just like Grand Theft Auto 5 is it's a big game with a lot that you can do to it, and so everyone's going to be excited for it. Now, I probably wouldn't, but like, hey, I mean, there you go. Yeah, more games out there on the more platforms is always good to me.
You can get the excitement of it, even if you might not be that into it. You can see why people are excited.
So I think that's really cool. I mean, obviously this isn't a big topic because we kind of already talked about it before. But I think it's
more info.
More info. We're gonna keep our eyes on this to see what happens, and if it actually gets released, you guys can hear it from us first.
Don't be surprised if come next year with the release of the next generation of console that you see a next gen version of Red Dead 2 alongside the PC release, like they did with GTA.
Yeah, I mean it's. I feel like why not?
Yeah,
perfect type of game for a PC.
Makes perfect sense. They'd be silly not to, because it would make all that money.
Speaking about making a lot of money.
Oh yes.
Last of Us was a great game, was it not?
Oh, fantastic game.
Now, people clamored and begged and wanted a second one so bad. They didn't even know what could have possibly been done with it. They just wanted it so bad.
They just wanted more.
And then eventually we ended up hearing information finally of people saying, "Oh, Last of Us 2, it's in the works. They're going to actually do it. They're actually going to work on it. Oh, I love Naughty Dog. They're amazing."
Start of the year we got that little teaser that was like the Through the Valley teaser, as I call it.
And then we had just small bits of information, not a whole lot of like really big details.
Over the past month, it's been near complete radio silence on it.
And then we have the State of Play.
Yeah, Sony's State of Play was, as of recording this, it would have been last night. So the 24th? Yeah?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Today's the 25th, so it had to have been the 24th.
Cody has the American date on his laptop, so the 9 is first, and every time I look at it, I get so confused.
I don't know how you could get confused when you had to have known by looking at the date. Today is not the 9th.
I know, but every time I look at it, my mind goes, 9? It's confusing. I hate it.
Go on,
Let's
then.
Change it. Yes, but last night we got a new trailer for The Last of Us 2. Last of Us Part 2, sorry. And we got a release date. A nice, juicy release date of February 21st, 2020.
February 21st, 2020. Amazing. Now, we watched the trailer. That's what we got. Did they have any more information about it after the trailer was put out, or is it just?
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they just dropped the trailer and like it's going to be out February 21st, 2020.
So it's now. If you watch the trailer, we're not going to spoil anything for anybody. Although I will say, that there are some hefty spoilers in it. I mean, I don't really care for spoilers, but I didn't fully play through The Last of Us myself. I played through a large chunk of it, and then I ended up losing access to my save, all that stuff. I didn't feel like going through it again. So I finished watching the rest of what happened in The Last of Us. So I thought the game was really well done. It had a lot of feeling to it, but I wasn't, like, I'm not as invested as a lot of people. But I will say the trailer looks really good. If you don't like spoilers, there's a couple of bigger spoilers that I wish people would stop putting in trailers. But there's a couple fat boy ones.
It's like, you can consider them spoilers. I can get you could say those are spoilers. Like, oh, this is going to happen in the game. But at the same time, Naughty Dog have always been pretty good with their trailers. And what they show in their trailers always nothing in compared to what actually happens in the game.
True.
So I think they kind of show you stuff to kind of be like, oh, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, things end up being different.
And then when you play it, it's completely different, and you're like, oh.
But the thing is that we know who's going to be in it,
well, yeah,
and who's not going to be in it,
well, yeah,
based off of that. And so it's kind of like, it pushed it. I think just a little bit with some of the stuff, because like that would have been something really cool to be like, have it happen, and then be like, oh my god! But because I watched the reveal trailer, now I'm like, oh yeah, when is it happening?
And something I noticed as well, there's a lot of like quick cuts in it. It's like a movie trailer.
Oh yeah, they cut it exactly like a movie trailer.
That I notice is that there's some character interactions in it, and there's cuts between them, but if you pay attention, it kind of goes seamlessly between them. But they're actually from two separate scenes, and they do that about 3 times throughout the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bit like, someone touches someone on the shoulder and they turn around and they talk to that person. That person, who then responds, completely different scene.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different location behind them.
Completely different.
But you don't pick that up the first time watching it.
You're kind of looking at it, you're just like, oh, cut.
So that's what makes me think they've pieced it together to try throw you on a scent. I got this gut feeling that Naughty Dog has something else in store for us.
We'll have to wait and see.
February 21st, we'll know.
February 21st of 2020, we will know. Now, away from our game topics and on to some media stuff, so like movies.
As we always do.
Yeah, we're coming into El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie trailer that just dropped yesterday as well, didn't it?
Yep.
For Netflix. So it's a Netflix movie.
It's a Netflix movie.
And me and you were just talking about how like Netflix has been like really on their
Oh yeah, they've been on point.
Game.
It's out October 11th on Netflix and in selected cinemas. And
it's a movie that takes so based off the trailer, we're not going to go into this as well. We don't want to, spoil anything for anybody. We'll give our opinions on it. Now, this seemingly takes place either immediately after the series, Breaking Bad series, or somewhere really, really close to it.
Yeah, it's either going to literally start with the end of the series, or it's going to be like an hour or two after the end.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really, really close. Like less than days, I would say. Like if they were to put it at a push, it's hard. I mean, it's still a trailer, so anything we could find out anything differently.
But just from the trailers, it looks like a day at most.
Yeah,
is even pushing it. So it's very quick. So if you're one of those people that really wanted to know what happened after the end of Breaking Bad,
it looks like it's going to start.
You're going to get those answers.
Yeah, it's going to start right up after that. Now, there's a lot of good stuff. Of course, it's going to be starring Aaron Paul, and it's going to be his sort of story afterwards. I will say with the trailer though, there are not a lot of spoilers. It was very well done. Yeah, very well done. There's not a lot of I would say there's no major spoilers. The biggest spoiler is kind of just, I guess, the main part of the movie. So it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, the bit that's in the synopsis,
yeah,
the synopsis for the movie is that it follows Jesse Pinkman on the run.
Yeah, so I would say it's very well done. I would check it out, especially if you're like me, where you don't like trailers. It was not a spoiler heavy. Yeah. Oh my god, I can't watch this now.
It's perfectly safe.
There's a lot of interesting things that hopefully will answer some questions, but it looks like it's going to ask more of who are these people? Why is this happening like this?
Which I'm kind of glad, because it's been so long since the end of Breaking Bad. If they tried to shoe in too much stuff from the show, it'd be like, I don't remember this. I should have rewatched the show before watching this.
I think rewatching the show might not be what you need, but watching a synopsis on the series would probably be the best.
Season breakdowns.
Because it's been so long, I can barely remember half the stuff. But yeah, it looks really good. It's supposed to be out sometime this year, yeah?
October 11th.
October 11th. So you got, what, 3 weeks? 2.5 weeks?
Give or take.
And we will be...
Literally, we'll have Joker one week and we'll have this the week after.
I can't wait for Joker. It's gonna be good. So if you were into Breaking Bad, check it out. If you weren't, look up a synopsis, get the whole story of it. It's a really good show, or watch it before this happens.
I feel like if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, you should just watch Breaking Bad.
It's lengthy though.
It's long.
To get it done by the time that this comes out. If you want to see it like right when it comes out, you're gonna be struggling.
If you're really dedicated,
yeah.
If you start this Friday and plow through it between now and October 11th, you could do it.
Yeah,
I believe in you. You can do this.
Also, just in case you're the type of person that couldn't immediately get into Breaking Bad. It takes until about. I'm not gonna say, it gets good halfway through because I hate when people say that about shows. No, it starts ramping up about episode 2 or 3. So it is a couple episodes because the first episode is really like, come on now.
The first episode gets you hooked, but it's a slow burn.
And the thing that gets you hooked is the end of the first episode. Nothing in the first episode up until the end makes you go, oh yeah, I'm super, super into this. Yeah. But then the end of the first episode, you're like, all right. And then you get to the second episode and you're like, all right. And then it just keeps ramping up.
Yeah. By the time at the end of the third episode, you're like, all right, yes.
I think the reason why I liked Breaking Bad as well is that the show continuously ramped up.
Oh, they constantly up the stakes.
That's why when it was slow at the beginning, I was fine with it because you got incremental increases, and then it kept going incremental.
Yeah.
And you would think like, oh, you have the episode where it goes down, and like, not really. It's like, it just keeps kind of going, this is the next level. This is the next level. Yeah. No, this is this is the next level.
And in those episodes where it does like lull to like set stuff up for the next episode, because it's gotten so high when it lulls, it's still on such a high anyways.
Yeah, it's a good series, and this movie is going to be really good. Good job, Netflix. You're doing a good job. And you have something else to say that you've done a good job, which is
Bandersnatch won an Emmy for the best TV movie.
Now tell everyone what Bandersnatch was, Kyle, because some people might not know.
Bandersnatch was a very special episode of the show Black Mirror on Netflix.
Which, if you haven't watched Black Mirror, like, I haven't seen any episodes of Black Mirror, but each one is kind of its own individual thing. Yeah. And it's kind of like a what if, or like...
Yeah, it's like an anthology series where it's like, okay, this is the theme of the episode, and now we're going to twist it.
Yeah.
Very good series. And then they released Bandersnatch, which was an extra long episode with a special twist.
Because like 2 hours, it could be 1 hour if you like, or shorter if you just kind of like quit.
Yeah.
But it was like 2 hours long if you did everything.
Yeah. And as Cody said there, it's interactive. You choose what the character does. So when you're watching on Netflix, you'll have options pop up, and you pick one or the other. And that actually affects how the episode goes. So there's multiple different endings. The episode varies in length depending on how you play it. Very, very good. And last Sunday, 22nd, it won an Emmy, which is a pretty big thing.
It's a big deal.
Like, Emmys are, the TV awards, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
So winning an Emmy for best TV movie is an outstanding achievement for, not just for Black Mirror, but for Netflix as a whole.
It's showing, I think what it's really doing is it's showing that in today's society, movies aren't the, like movies produced by well-known, producers and directors and like high profile actors aren't the only way to go about doing this. You can get really, really, really good, just like how there's indie games that are amazing in the gaming world. These like sort of indie films, or not even like this, I wouldn't say it's an indie film, but sort of not this, it's not
going off classification of movie, it would be closer to indie than anything else. Yeah,
I would say it's closer because it's Netflix, and for a long time Netflix movies were kind of like woo. Yeah. But now like Netflix shows and Netflix series and Netflix movies are starting to get like ridiculously good.
Yeah,
people are choosing to put themselves on the platform because they know it will be watched as well.
Yeah,
compared to like television where like there's a chance it could be watched.
It's like you look at the stuff like they had Bandersnatch. They had, I don't know if you've seen the movie about Robert the Bruce.
No.
With Chris Pine.
No.
Came out on Netflix. Excellent movie. Martin Scorsese's new movie, The Irishman, will be released on Netflix.
There you go. I mean,
like a week after it's been released in cinema. You have the Breaking Bad movie that's going to be released on Netflix.
And then in terms of series and shows, there's so many that were produced by Netflix that are so good.
So good. Like you have Witcher coming that looks
amazing.
You all know my feelings on that.
Yeah. You have so much good stuff coming, and Netflix is really like saying fuck television, fuck high profile like production companies and fuck their directors and producers. We got our own slew of them, and we can release it on our streaming platform, and we're just as awesome, if not better in a lot of ways. But real quick, to get back on the topic of Bandersnatch, just in case you're interested in watching it and you kind of want to know a little bit what it's about, here's a quick little thing that they wrote, and it's about a game developer like attempting to adapt a pick-a-path book into a video game in the 1980s. And what happens is there's this kid that's trying to be a popular video game developer by making a choose-your-own game from a choose-your-own-venture book.
Yeah. And
he ends up going through this whole like slew of things, and it comes into a point where, without giving too much away, comes to a point where you're choosing these sort of the interactions that he goes through, and he starts to realize that something isn't going on the way that it should because of the choices.
Yeah.
And you start to see a side of what interactive movies could actually mean for people.
Yeah, like it's very much an example of just how cool it could be.
Like back in the day when people would like have predictions of the future of how it was going to be and like how there's like this shows you that this could be a thing, and you would love it. It'd be amazing. So it's really cool. Check it out. It won an Emmy, so you know it has to be at least halfway good. And yeah, it's.
And while you're at it, you can check out what other Emmys Netflix won, because at the Emmys, Netflix came out king. They were the studio / platform that won the most awards, beating the likes of HBO, which is a huge thing for a streaming service to beat the biggest television platforms out there.
The biggest television and like secondary streaming, really, because they do all their streaming stuff as well.
Netflix beat them.
Nice. Well, there you go. Interesting stuff. We got a ton of good stuff coming just based on what we've said. There's a ton of good stuff already out there. A lot of interesting things happening to certain games, and also some dumb things that makes you irritated.
Minecraft character creator, man.
That's all I can think about all day.
I want my Switch ring to be compatible with my Minecraft character creator.
I want you to never talk again in this podcast to be over. So thank you guys so much for listening to us. It was a great week. We love chatting with you. We've still got all of our stuff we talked about at the beginning that you can all follow. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, at The Geek Cause.
Follow us everywhere.
We've got more stuff coming out here soon. I'm continuously streaming, and Kyle will be continuously sleeping.
Yes.
But at some point, he'll put something out there.
Cody still hasn't streamed Gwent.
I still haven't streamed Gwent, and I probably never will.
So sad.
I mean, you're not even awake to watch my streams.
So sad. Have you know I've been awake before midday every day for the past 2 weeks.
Isn't that impressive, guys?
That is, I am a new
The fact that he was able to wake up before the afternoon.
I'm a new man.
So, thank you guys so much for listening. We love you.
You're the best.
We appreciate you. And I request a picture of a cheeseburger sent to me so I can...
Any specific type of cheeseburger?
Just a cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger?
Just a cheeseburger.
So, spam Cody with pictures of cheeseburgers.
Bye!
Bye.